Welcome to this edition of Helping Hands. I'm your host, Kristen Doucette, and today we'll be highlighting the Central Massachusetts Limb Loss Support Group. In the United States, there are over 2 million people living with limb loss, and until this group was founded in 2004, there were no support groups for amputees in Central and North Central Massachusetts. Today, the Central Massachusetts Limb Loss Support Group is still the only support organization for people living with limb loss. To further expand on this topic, I'd like now to first welcome the president and founder of the Central Mass Limb Loss Support Group, Rose Bissonette. Rose, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
I think I want to begin with, how did you think to start this? Why did you start this group?
Well, the reason that I decided to start the group was in 1996, I was in a horrific auto accident, which nearly took my life and resulted in the loss of my lower left leg. And at that time, I was searching to talk to someone who was an amputee as well, especially a woman's perspective, that type of thing. And even in the rehab hospital, they said there was no one available for me to talk to. And later on, through a clergy person, I found out there was an association, which is the Amputee Coalition of America. And I also found out they had peer visitors. Well, as time went on, I decided I would like to do that and give back. So I went for training in 2003 and became a certified peer visitor. And in that training, my fellow members asked me, well, you know, it's a good idea to recommend a support group. And I said, well, we don't have one in North Central Massachusetts. And as usual, the idea got in my head, and I realized, yeah, we need a support group because there's more than me out there. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started the support group, and we meet the second Tuesday of every month at Clinton Hospital. That's one of our meetings. We've since expanded. But that's the main reason, and on top of that, just within 3 months after my amputation, I also lost my husband. And he was a wonderful caregiver, and in the back, I'm always thinking of him as I'm trying to help someone else. As they say, you know, you help each other. So that is the main reason why I started my group.
So what's the goal of the group? What's the group all about?
The goal of the group is to provide, of course, support. And we do that by providing pertinent information, because once you lose a limb, you go through rehab. Then, if you're fortunate enough that you can wear a prosthetic, you see your prosthetist, and they fit you with a prosthetic, and you go through that. But information so valuable, like with insurances and day-to-day care, or just the idea of how am I going to handle my life, because your life changes. And you have family, and it affects the family. And we also take in consideration the family, so when we have our meetings, it includes family members.
Okay. So you said it meets once a month?
We meet once a month, and we've just started a brand new support group on the 4th Saturday of every other month at Whittier Rehabilitation Hospital, and that's from 10 till noon on the 4th Saturday. As a matter of fact, in January we will be having a meeting, and that's on January 24th at Whittier.
Okay, so it's once a month, you come together. What's talked about?
It can vary. We have subjects like open forum, which most times I will bring up, for the winter, for instance. How do you deal with trying to walk with a prosthetic on ice? Okay, it's tough enough when you got 2 good legs, right. And some people don't have 2 legs at all. Right. And we have guest speakers. All types. I've had people come in to talk about physical therapy. I've had nutritionists, and fortunately, in January 2009, on the 13th, at 6 p.m. at Clinton Hospital, we are going to be having a Professor Clancy from the Worcester Polytechnic Institute. They have just received a grant to do research on connecting the brain with the prosthetic. and that's all up and coming. So we do a variety of informational and social activities. We just had our holiday party, which included a Yankee swap and a whole bunch of fun. We do cookouts. We had our very first ever fundraiser, because everything does cost money. And the feedback I got on that was the attendees just had a blast. Mm-hmm. And of course I danced myself almost right out of my prosthetic. So we really had a very good time.
Good. Now, you said it's once a month. Now, do you find that people come once a month, every month, or is it people coming in and out?
We have a variety. As in any organization, you have your core group, mm-hmm. and then you have those who come and get what they need. And some people feel, well, no, I'm not quite ready yet. What happens behind the scenes that people don't see at the meetings is a lot of peer visits that we do to hospitals and rehab centers, as well as sending out newsletters to keep people informed. So it does vary.
Now, is there anything currently out there that comes close to what this group offers?
No, not to my knowledge. I mean, there are other support groups towards the Boston area, and there's one in Springfield. But currently we're the only one that I know is this active. And we are members of the Amputee Coalition of America, which we receive a lot of our information from, and I do a lot of research and work with them.
Okay. Is there a cost to be in the group?
No. The cost that the person pays is bad enough by losing 1, 2, 3. We've had people with 4 limbs, lost 4 limbs. So, no, we rely totally on donations.
Okay. And you did mention the recent fundraiser, so was that successful?
It was our first. We had a lot of fun. It wasn't as successful as we hoped, but then again, we're learning. Mm-hmm. And we're going into, in 2009 is our 5th anniversary of the organization. So the Holiday Inn has invited us back. That's where we had our other fundraiser in Marlborough. And on May 15th, we are having a celebration of our anniversary. And we hope to have a very special guest speaker. And again, have a lot of fun. And oh yeah, we're going to have dancing. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And you know, you being the founder of this group and you interacting with every group member, do you feel like it's serving its purpose? Do you think it's making a difference in people's lives?
I've been asked that quite a bit. And what I do is, how I see it makes a difference is when I see recent amputee come in. And most times they come because they have a family member who brings them. And then they're usually very quiet. But as time goes on, and I've watched it, if they come back again and I've watched them, and they become more interactive, and they seem to be more engaging and want to get more involved. And I get feedback from the family members as well, that they've learned so much. And what's amazing is that when a new one comes in, that person that's been there for a while, that is starting to open up, heads right for the new one to try to help them, because they know and they understand. There's only one way to understand what it's like living with limb loss, if you're going through it yourself.
Right. Yeah, I love that component as far as bringing the family in, because everyone deals with it, and everyone
Yes.
needs to be together and work together
Yes.
to help them stay positive and better their lives.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
It's time now for a short break, but we want to thank you, Rose, for being here. And we're going to bring you back later in the show to give us more details. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right.